Okay, third time's the charm. I'm out here in the graveyard. I was getting called to come here, so I felt like, you know, the spirits were calling me. Also, I feel like graveyards don't get a lot of love. So I'm here trying to grace it with my energy, because I feel like you just die, get put in a box and slapped in here, and your family members don't visit as much and yada yada. So hopefully I can come and just bring some light. And as soon as like I clicked record, if you believe me or not, on this one, the sun came in behind me and my girlfriend's about to run by. So anyways, from Wendigoons, this is like a Wendigoon extra. It's like my own video, but it's a topic that he covered in the Truth Ladder. That is for you to discover. I don't want to spoil that, but if you watch the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg, go ahead. So I've told this story before on my channel. It was older when, you know, they were wearing a lot of eyes on me this time, but I would like to tell it again. And I would like to also add, which I'm just going to, I want to add my whole own thing. So it's a little bit of like, you know how experience, I love hearing the birds chirping and shit. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but it's my little addition to things, or how, like, not that, it's almost like the whole everything you know is a lie sort of thing, and you can unlock parts of your brain that they don't tell you about, and of course, because they don't want you to know that the power is with you, and it's the power of the people to change the world. It's like everyone that's higher up, or quote unquote higher up, has titles and everything, these are not leaders, bruh. The power is with us. We are the leaders. Now, the reason I wanted to start with saying that is because I'm gonna get into psychic abilities in this little video we got. So if you guys have heard me talk about it or mention it before, if you watched me during the whole Wendigoon thing, which I loved, I don't even know why I'm calling it a thing, but I gave a story about my grandma, or having foresight or future sight. Now, I've been seeing comments. Shout out to y'all. Thanks for all the love and where we're at on the channel right now. Thank you. I appreciate it, because the whole point of this is, I don't want to reveal my plans too early, but look out. Just be looking out for a future video that'll come within some time. But serious, thanks for all the support. I think, are we at 1,700 today? I think we're at 1,700. Awesome. But okay. Back in, real back in. I gave a story about my grandma. Now, I've told this on my channel, and I was seeing comments about foresight, yada yada. We're back to the point. Now, foresight, and why I started with that whole, the world, they lie about psychic abilities and everything, is literally, I started to I don't want to say my awakening was 2018, but I'm not gonna lie, my awakening was 2018. Like, it was pretty crazy. Now, in a sense, you've always, a person like me, or a person, anybody who experiences weird things, have always had psychic connections, or connections to the ethereal plane, whatever you want to call it, astral realm. So many you want to slap some science, the quantum realm, the 40, blah, 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 all these realms. We have connection to them at all times. Everything is happening everywhere all at once. Shout out to that movie. But yeah, so, and the point to say that is, basically my awakening really didn't happen in 2018, but in a sense I've always been awake, and I only started to notice things around 2018. Maybe that was what time I was supposed to pick it up in this life and do it again, but pretty much, yeah, I've witnessed weird stuff throughout my entire life, unexplained things, seeing weird things, yada yada. But 2018 is when shit started hitting the fan. Now, I was gonna go off of being 18, but I'll go from 19. 19's like better to start, because this is when the vision started. I can't remember when my grandma died. I think she died 2020, I think it was, 2 years ago. Was it 20? Yeah, it was 2020, I think. Was it 2020? I think it was 2020. Was it 2021? Shit, I can't remember the date. I can't really remember the date. Sorry, Grandma, wherever you are. I looked up because that's programming. Nah, but never mind. If you got that joke, you got that joke. But pretty much, here's how it happened. Whatever the years may be between, because I just like forgotten about the whole event, was the year prior to when she actually died. Like, I'm telling you, nightmares started to kick up. So it was like the beginning, so I can use them. It was like a January on 2019, let's say that for the date. I was just, a lot was happening at the time. It was a bunch of crazy, I think it was 2020 to the end of 2021. No, maybe, okay, I don't know. I'm trying to get the dates right so I could, because there was a lot of events that were happening around the time, but I could just explain the events instead of trying to get them together. Pretty much, a lot had happened. Like, I'm telling you, I was living with a few bros. There's a story to go into that, but pretty much the living with a few bros didn't work out because it's just one specific bro, which is okay. Hope he's doing great now. But the other bro was telling me, hey, bro, we should have just moved in together. That's a lot of bros. But the guy you see in my video is Ron, the one I collab with. Me and him, ride or dies. And, you know, a lot happened. Like, he was going through the awakening too. And, bro, we're having deja vu. Shit is feeling weird. Like, people faces are being recognized. Like, things that'll happen in game feel the same. Everything is feeling robotic. It feels like we don't have control of our body, but we're just kind of like, we're the observer of our body. Crazy senses, crazy dreams, crazy like stuff going fucking absolutely ham mac and cheese. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, things people would say sound familiar. I can call things before they happen. I can say, like, I'm like, bro, what is going on? And pretty much we get to 2019, so now we get to the beginning of the year, or it was the beginning of 2020, but I think it was 2019. And pretty much I start having these crazy visions. So I end up living with my bro Ron, and just night after night it kicked up. Like, I started having and the reason I wanted to get the timeline of the years, because there's a lot to say here, but January hits, I'm living with my bro Ron, and nightmares just start kicking in. And first, this is how it started. So, and I'm gonna give you the breakdown of what I could have thought it was, so you don't get like confused and I don't tie it in later. I'm gonna tie it in together, and I'm really about the channel being super clear here. So here's what I'm gonna say. So, nightmares start, and the visions start flashing. Hospitals, hospital here, hospital there, just like Evil Within levels of hospital. The gray like area things waving for him when he first appeared at the hospital. Just boom, I'm like walking through halls. I'm like, what the fuck? I open the door like to one of the rooms. It's me type of, like, the way I can build this up or try to build it up for you. I'm being a little bit like dramatic with it, but like, it was visual, like visually intense, sensory intense. You're feeling it. I'm opening the door and I see myself in the hospital bed. So I'm like, oh shit, because of everything going on, am I scared like I'm dying? Is my soul dying? Am I like lost? Lunar was lost? What the fuck is going on? So I wake up, cold sweat. Fucking some of the nights I was waking up with a bloody nose. It was insane, bro. So then, anyways, that's like one of the first dreams. I see myself. So I talked to my cousin and I'm like, yo, cause she's like awaken, doing like great stuff. I'm over here like, bro, why am I having these like prophetic dreams, prophecies? Like, I'm visioning the world and things like that. And also, which a crazy thing is going on this year, and I'm sorry for this if this scares anybody, but you know how they're trying to take away the guns, and I don't want to get too in depth with that. I had a dream where military trucks and stuff were rolling through the streets, keeping people in their homes, and they were shooting anyone who came outside because no one had a way to defend themselves. And this was a dream I had back also in 2019, 2020. And now that I see the stuff going on with AI and stuff, I don't know if I was having prophetic dreams about that. And also, I'm gonna tell you about a crazy thing that happened like the other week, where I was literally in my girlfriend's dream. Like, I could call the things of where she was, and she was like, you're lying, like, no way. And yeah, and so like I guess for trusting in this, believing in this, my like psychic like abilities get stronger, but I always framed it around the closer I get to the person, the more I can see into them. But I don't know, it's weird, and I'm being 100% like on my dead grandma. I don't know how it's insane. It's cool though, but it's weird. It feels like you're almost being watched because of what you know. But I think there's a lot of people like this, so I'm good if I end up disappearing. Anyways, back to the story then. I tell my cousin, I'm like, hey, I'm seeing myself die in the hospital. What's going on? Around this time also, like, I'm going through wild things, like with my ex. I'm telling her, hey, I'm having these visions, but, or like, yeah, my ex now, but like telling her I'm having these visions, what is going on, and blah blah. And she was like, you know, thinking that I was just paranoid, this and that, like just wild stuff, wild stuff. And anyways, like, I'm trying to think, I'm trying to clear my thoughts, because around this time I also had another relationship where in it, like, I'm having these nightmares like over the months. If you could, like, yeah, just, I'm like over here saying, if you can understand that, but I'm having these nightmares over the months. So I'm like, it's the same one, reoccurring nightmare, hospital. One night, gone, hospital. It's insane. But pretty much, going back a bit, yeah, I had this one relationship with this girl where I told her, like, prophecy things and things that were gonna happen, and that I was gonna see her, and then I ended up seeing her when I said I was. And like, even with her, she thought I was being paranoid, but she told me like she was spiritually tapped in and stuff like that. But then when I started giving my stuff, it be sounding like I'm crazy. Like, at the time, this was at the time, but this is what I meant, is this is why I never considered to be spiritual or something. I'm like, bro, I'm up, like, I'm just awoken like the fucking Destiny characters. Like, now I'm not playing with just claiming spirituality, eating vegetables and shit. No, I'm something else. Like, I was like, that's what I took it. That was the spiritual ego, or the ego, the new ego of being, like, realizing what I am. But I'm just realizing that's why I was like, I've always been good with the whole titles thing. Titles don't mean shit. Like, if I ever said like spiritual things, esoteric or consciousness things, it's all the same thing. I use it to like give it a like a kind of like a blanket of understanding for people just coming into it. But I would never consider myself spiritual. I would just consider myself what we all are, and one with God, one with the universe, one with Source. Where Source just playing out through a guy, like, you know, but like I'm Source playing out through Lunar. That's how you see me, but we're all the same thing. So anyways, that aside, because I can rant, man. I can rant, and this video will be long. Yeah, I told her a bunch of psychic stuff, and like, yo, like, I was seeing a bunch of stuff for her line, and that if she repeats this stuff in this life, it's gonna play out the same. And literally, it happened, and it was so insane. It was mind-blowing to us. And then, like, a few months ago, she's a really nice girl, but a few months ago, she messaged me saying like I was right about everything, and I'm rooting for you, and blah blah blah. And she was like, no, listen to me, I'm really rooting for you. Like, I hope everything goes really well. And like, it was like, I think it was like not even that she needed the hope. It was a sense that she knew things were gonna be all right for me. And yes, let's stroke the ego real quick. But I really genuinely try to be a good person in so many people's lives, and plus accepting the fact that you can't make everybody happy. Like, everybody is responsible for their own happiness, and you know, and just like other stuff. But that's a whole nother video. But the whole thing is like, yeah, like, I was like, I had nobody to tell me what I was seeing. Even my closest bro, who was going through his awakening, I can't put the weight on him because he's also having crazy shit happen. So it's like, bro, you really are alone in the awakening, but there's many people going through it. So anyways, let's get back to it. Reoccurring nightmares while all of this stuff is happening with my one ex and then my other ex, and just all of this in between. And it's funny, I seen 11:11 on recording, and now 14:14. Like, as soon as when I peeked up at the time, because I'm not watching the time, I'm just having a good time. Anyways, yeah, so reoccurring dreams. My cousin tells me, hey, like, the death you could be seeing or being sick in the hospital means you're going through a transformation. It can mean something else. Don't know, just don't always see everything as bad omens, or they'll become bad omens. Pretty much your beliefs create reality, so things will become bad. So I was like, oh, okay, let me chill. And, you know, as I started chilling, so I want to get into another thing, but man, it's just so many videos I could create. But alright, because I have another idea now. But pretty much to sum it up, so I kept talking to my cousin here and there about it, but she was still going through her own journey too. So it's like, oh my God, you can't put your stuff on people. You gotta try to handle it yourself. But it's good to talk about your stuff, but that was me. I had that bad pattern of not thinking like I'm not able to speak about my stuff. So I was almost scared to speak up at times. But yeah, I just had a whew. But pretty much she kept, telling me the same stuff. It was the same stuff looping. I was caught in a loop, scary dreams, yada yada. Then the one dream happened where we're like halfway to where I would say the time frame where my grandma dies, and the dream switches me in the bed to her. Now, prior to this dream, no, like, she wasn't sick, she wasn't anything, she was good, she was moving a few homes, living with my aunt at the time, she was okay. Nothing showing signs of like she about to up and go. Literally nothing. Not even up until the point. She literally got sick right before she died. And guess what? She became another one of their little statistics for the whole thing that happened in the world. So she just became another number to that. Oh, passed away? Oh yeah, just say it's the thing they love saying nowadays. So like, I could trip, fall off my bike, get hit by a car, and I would still die by the thing that's what am I talking about? Alright. Pretty much, yeah, she halfway to when she was about to die, the dream switched to her in the hospital bed. So then that thing that I said I would connect later, I'm going to connect now. What I thought that this was a metaphor for seeing myself first, was whatever was showing me, my higher self, God, whatever you want to call it, that it was me in the hospital bed, it was showing me a piece of me was dying, because everyone in your reality is a reflection of you. So it was showing myself dying, because I truly believed in my heart that my grandma was like one of my one and only true friends. Wow, and the fucking light rays coming right there was really cool, but that almost made me feel like, damn. Sorry. Yeah, I thought my grandma was my one and only true friend, and it was like a piece of me dying, and that's why they showed it like that. Sorry, I'm good. Like it just like hit with the light rays. It really felt like a weird sign. Anyways, so it flipped to her. I started seeing her in the hospital bed. I started seeing that no one could see her. I started seeing, it was just weird shit the dream was showing me. It was showing me like, it was just wild. It was showing me like no one was gonna be able to visit her. She was calling people from the hospital bed saying that like she doesn't think like she's making it out this time, because there were times she was in and out of the hospital before and no one would want to tell me. Everyone would know, and that kind of created a tense moment in my family at times, where no one would let me in what's going on because of my connection to her. But it's funny because like when she ended up dying, I didn't cry, and I felt bad for not crying. But what's funny is she even told me when she was alive she wouldn't want anyone to cry. Like, you got to celebrate them. Don't cry over someone. Just celebrate that they got out of this game, and hopefully they don't come back. But in all seriousness, like I didn't cry. And I think what almost made me cry there was the sun coming in, because it was almost like a confirmation that she really is watching me. And I had a dream the other day where it felt like I called on her and I'm a lucid dreamer, by the way, but called on her, and she was looking at me doing everything that I'm doing on YouTube and was watching with me. Like, we were scrolling through and I seen her over me like a light figure, so it was pretty cool. But that's why the sun shining over my shoulder just got me like that, because that was really reminiscent of the dream. But pretty much coming back to everything, yeah, it flipped to her in the dream. Same scene, me going through the hospital, dramatics, opening the door, and then seeing me there. It was her instead. And yeah, it was just everything you could think of. It was dreams where no one could reach her, dreams where she was just telling everyone that it's her final time, where, you know, just crazy. Even from my cousin, which is funny about the dream, from my cousin, she told her that she doesn't think that she would get to see her baby born, and she was right. But so sometimes when I tell this story, I say when I tell this story, I say that no one in my family believed me, and I would say my mom did, and then my cousin, of course. But then I would say the other ones, and like I kind of added more people in my family that are kind of extended, but they are, like my aunt isn't married to my uncle yet, I don't think, and I don't think they are, which I was considering like him apart, but I never went to talk to him about it. But I didn't know. I heard a lot at the time, because even in my hometown, people were saying like, oh, Jarrell went crazy and all this, and I'm like, bro, it really is like that. It's like, I don't want to say this, but it's like, it's literally like being the chosen one, because it was everyone. Like I'm hearing things, little things here and there, hearing like I went crazy, and I'm like, bro, I'm living good. Like, I'm like, you know what's crazy is I feel like, yeah, you're right, I did go a little crazy, and to get on video and spread like love and moonlight and only that, and just want to be about good, yeah, I did go crazy. I lost my mind, because I'm not going to be in this system and play this bullshit game that they want y'all to play, and just be upset or talking about other people, because I've never been like that, to just be talking about somebody going crazy or doing that. I just don't do that. It's not me. So I just found it funny. I found it really funny, and I was like, I see this human experience. It shows you that it's almost like the people that talk bad on you are the ones who don't have their demons in check, because I face demons. And I remember a quote from Jordan Peterson, because I really do like the dude now. I never didn't like him, but I really enjoy some of his stuff. I'll just be like, he's one of those dudes who's extreme, and I can tell. If a lot of you who can't tell, like, if you look at him, he's one of those dudes who's also, it might be being authentically him, and he might have a fucking thesaurus for reasons why I'm probably wrong about this, but he's someone to say things for shock value too, like to deliver something like, black people complain too much, like, not saying that from the perspective of being racism, but he would say something shocking. As I said that, it was 2222 on the recording, but he's a really cool dude. But I sometimes, but a quote by him was like, they're like, a good man or a good guy is a guy who has like his demons in check. And I don't know if the quote was from him, but honestly, so even despite all these things I heard about myself, I still remain thinking that I was moving in the highest thing, and I never had any. I heard even karma is a belief. I had never had anything come back to bite me. I never had anything like that happen to me from like the past 4 years. So I guess I've been doing good, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, because I'm just living for me. And literally anyone I've met in my past knows, like, it's funny because I'm getting too off topic, but you just know the point I'm saying is just like, this is more for y'all, is really like, just walk in your light, don't worry about anybody else. But truthfully, it was crazy. It was a crazy thing to see her die. I ended up telling everybody, and the whole me talking about no one believing me thing, the reason I got into that is because and trying to say that no one in my family believed, is my mom, my stepdad, who was saying like, oh, I was blessed by the devil, like I was cursed by the devil, you gotta pray to get that shit out of you, putting all this fear, and I'm like, good, I'm telling you because I trusted you to tell you, and I needed someone to actually like kind of like consult me. Like, I mean, I don't know, confide might be a wrong word, but I need you to like validate. Like, I needed your validation a little bit for like, hey, please help me clear, because no one can explain what's going on. Motherfucker said, you're blessed by the devil, this is demons, this is demonic, religion, bro, what? So that made me say the whole thing that no one in my family believed me, and like, it's funny because like, in a funny joke, I'm not saying, because he's done a lot of good for me, but in a funny way, it's like he's my stepfather. Like, my dude's not even my real father. So why did I take that? And it's because of the whole, probably like, trauma of having to prove myself to him, and yada yada, and like, all of that trauma overlooked the fact that this dude is just my stepfather. Like, I did not come from his balls. but no, I love him nonetheless, and he's really great now. And I don't know how he feels now about things, but pretty much, all that said is, yeah, I had a whole kind of weird thing where just, you know, kind of, I don't know, just weird space where I didn't know what was really going on. I didn't really know where I stood with anybody in the family, if everyone just thought I was crazy. And yeah, and that was it. And I didn't cry when she died because I was facing her death every fucking night, every week. Like, literally, it was reoccurring nightmare, almost like it was preparing me for that to happen. And now I'm here and I'm good. So yeah, that's the story of foresight, and I have other foresight stories where I've called stuff happening that I can tell y'all. I would leave out names, but I could tell y'all the foresight story of like my one ex and yada yada, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, I guess that's really it. I'm tapped out. I don't have anything. I'm actually done. That's cool. You really know when your mind's done. I guess I'll leave it at this. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for anyone who stuck with me this long through this video, these 26 minutes. Much love and moonlight, and as always, I'm telling you, follow your own path. That's it. That's all I'm trying to be here for. Damn, sometimes I look up and look at the sky and I'm like, I really be hoping I'm staying and doing the right thing, man. Like, I feel like I'm trying to move and doing the right thing and not just talking about it. And the wind just came. Ah, man. I wish I had like some Native American ending, cause like I'm not, well, I'm Native American, but like, yeah. It's so funny. One of the first dudes, if you guys want to know something before I say much love and moonlight, there's this dude named Chris who got me into PC gaming and like building a computer and stuff like that. That I remember when we were younger, he told me that he was native, like he was Native American, or he was some type of native, and I completely forgot the fact that I'm Italian, Native American, and Caribbean. And from that day, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I was so programmed that, like, I really thought, like, even though it is all just black, whatever, you know, it's all just black, but, I was native. Like, my grandma's father, or grandma's father, my grandma's husband was Native American. He was, like, Indian. God, I'm gonna offend people, I feel like, but you get it, Native American. And I forgot what our tribe is, or like the ancestors, but it's crazy. I just thought that, yo, because I used to have nightmares, like Native American nightmares, like before even knowing that. And it's so crazy because of how bad they're portrayed as savages. My grandma had like Native American pictures hanging up over all the walls in the house, and they used to scare me, bro. That's how bad programming is, because I used to see them as savages. Motherfucker, if they're savages, then I'm the savage. Like, I'm out here painted up, like, so I had to break down that programming. This world's crazy, bro. Anyways, all right, I'm out of here. Much love and moonlight, for real, and thanks for all the support. Let's keep going up.